Among the 11 House Republicans who broke with their party and voted with Democrats to strip Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of her congressional committee assignments tonight, 3 of those 11 Republicans represent South Florida. In fact, it's all 3 of South Florida's House Republicans. South Florida, of course, is home to Parkland and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, which was the site of an unimaginably horrific school shooting in February 2018, in which 17 people were killed. In breaking with most of their party tonight, those 3 South Florida House Republicans stood instead, quote, with a group of Parkland victims' families who urged them to vote yes to strip Congresswoman Greene of her committees. Congresswoman Greene, of course, had said online that that shooting in Parkland didn't really happen, that it was staged. Media Matters found a Facebook thread from 2018, which has since been removed, where Congresswoman Greene enthusiastically agreed that Parkland was a, quote, false flag planned shooting. She tried to backtrack from that today on the House floor before the vote to punish her, but South Florida's House Republicans were not buying it. Out of tragedy in Parkland, a movement was born thanks to students who survived the massacre, who turned their grief and their rage into activism with those unbelievable marches all across the country. That tragedy also galvanized parents, turned them into activists too. Parents like Fred Guttenberg, whose daughter Jamie was among the 17 victims of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High. For nearly 3 years, Mr. Guttenberg has worked as an activist against gun violence. And as you can imagine, Congresswoman Greene agreeing that the mass murder that took his daughter's life was some staged event is not something that he has taken lightly. Joining us now is Fred Guttenberg, who lost his daughter Jamie in Parkland nearly 3 years ago. Mr. Guttenberg is an activist, and an author. His new book is called Find the Helpers. Fred Guttenberg, it's a real honor to have you with us tonight, sir. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on your show tonight, Rachel.
I will tell you, I have struggled in recent days, and I really struggled today, with whether or not to play sound from Congresswoman Greene purporting her theories, whether or not to highlight the false things that she has said and propounded and advocated that have built her into the sort of celebrity that she is, because I don't think she's worth the attention, and I don't want to give her a bigger spotlight than she ought to have. At the same time, it feels wrong to ignore her. Do you struggle with that at all? How do you balance those feelings?
No, I'm so glad you did. Because, listen, I've been sharing those videos now for weeks. She is a fraud. Mm-hmm. And everyone who was paying attention knows she is a fraud. Those videos do exist. So to hear her lying to the members of Congress, and to hear, I guess, the current version of this Republican Party buy into the fraud, buy into the lie because they are so afraid of their voters, boy, it makes them pathetic. But I'm glad you showed the videos, because she did say these things. And not only did she say things like Parkland or Sandy Hook or Las Vegas or 9/11 are false flags and didn't happen, she had these conspiracies around them. I mean, and you can't say she's crazy because everything she said is so intentional.
In terms of the position that she's got in Congress, she's going to hold a press conference tomorrow. She's been raising lots of money based on the attacks from the liberal mob. She's got lots of support in her caucus, although I think a lot of people were surprised to see 11 votes against her. What do you think is the best potential outcome here? She is an elected representative. She now has officially no work to do in Congress. Where do you hope this lands and how this ends?
Listen, if she wants to keep referring to people like me as a liberal mob, have at it. I'm a dad. My daughter died in Parkland, and I will keep responding. Every dollar she brags about raising is costing the GOP money. There's no question this is hurting their donations. If this is the path they want to go down, let them go down it. I am shocked. I remember a day in this country not long ago where 2 parties maybe disagreed on policy and they would argue things out, but they didn't disagree on facts. They didn't disagree on working for the American people. This party today gave up on that. It is shocking. So if they want to keep her around, if they want to continue to give her this platform, it only hurts the bigger party, which is why you saw some folks in the Senate And even 11 in the GOP say, we don't want this.
Mm-hmm. Fred, I would say that one thing that I have found very heartening is the ability of individual people and people of like mind working together in small numbers to change people's hearts and to move people on this subject. So to see Congressman Diaz-Balart and Congressman Jimenez and Congresswoman Salazar, all Republicans from South Florida, all three of them as a bloc, all the Republicans in South Florida saying we are not going along with our party in this. We're instead siding with the Parkland parents. That to me feels like a vindication of the kind of work that you and other families have done in the wake of the tragedy that you have been through. But it also feels like a template for all of us in terms of thinking about how to get through hard things.
You know, listen, I'm super proud of what they did, and I'm shocked that it was only 11. You know, her story is so clear and her lies are so obvious. And the idea that it was only 11, and I have to comment on something else that she said, because a big part of her story that convinced a lot of these Republicans to vote her way is she has talked about something that happened to her 30 years ago. It's all part of the fraud. Because 30 years ago, she says she was a victim of gun violence, and I'm not denying that. But here's the thing. We have 400 million weapons on the street today. It was a fraction 30 years ago. So the risk is so different today versus what she went through. And there was no chance of an AR-15 coming into her high school the way one happened with my daughter. So to use that as an example for why she is the person she is dishonest. But I'll say one more thing. She says it convinced her that she had to be a good guy with a gun. That's what she took away from her incidents 30 years ago. Who says she's the good guy with a gun? She's threatened to put a bullet in Pelosi's head. She's threatened other elected leaders. She chased down the kids like David Hogg, telling them, I have a loaded weapon in my purse. She's not a good guy with a gun. She is a threat. If she lived in a state like Florida with red flag laws, she would be losing her weapons. No wonder why she's so against them. But we can't let her get away with using that incident as part of her recovery. She is a fraud.
Fred Guttenberg, author, the father of Parkland shooting victim Jamie Guttenberg, coming up on 3 years since that happened, sir. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. I know that this is personal and hard, and you being here and being so articulate about what you know on this subject is an invaluable public service. Thank you.
Rachel, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful night.
All right. You too. Thank you. Senator Chris Murphy is going to join us ahead tonight. Stay with us.